Hey. He wants to talk to you.
Who?
Him?
Mr. Mime. Wait, how's he going to talk to me?
Well, he's gonna dance to you.
Well. Isn't this precious? You want me to host your show. Yeah, I'll do it. But what's the catch? No, we can't change the name to Hanging with Mr. Mime. I'm not gonna wear a fancy mime costume. Okay, deal. But once, okay? I will do it once and then never again. Hello everyone, this is the Final Bosman, and on today's episode, I seem to be trapped in a box. New title sequence. Whoa, it's new. It's 2014. I guess everything's new. Welcome to the show. I am Kyle Bosman, and I like this time of year. I think this is when we as human beings feel the most hope. This is it. And then for the rest of the year, it kind of all diminishes, and then a new year hits again. And in the scope of the video game world, it's kind of the same thing. This is the reset of the year. Generally, all the big games that were going to come out have. And so there's kind of the bottom of the wave, just this period of like no real game announcements, nothing really coming out until it builds up again as the course of the year. Case in point, at this point last year, we didn't know what the PS4 and the Xbox One were. You know, we called them the Orbis and Durango. At this point last year, Kaz Hirai had just said, oh, we're not gonna announce our console until Microsoft shows theirs. And then that just turned out to be a hilarious lie. At this point last year, we hadn't seen The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds yet. We hadn't seen The Witcher 3. Hadn't seen Pokemon X and Y. Hadn't seen Super Mario 3D World. Hadn't seen Metal Gear Solid 5 as Metal Gear Solid 5. Hadn't seen Destiny. Hadn't seen X. Hadn't seen Kingdom Hearts 3. Hadn't seen Titanfall. All these like games just surfaced over the course of the last year. At this point last year, I was just a normal, quiet person in the office who just like transcribed the episodes of GTTV. A lot can happen in a year. So what I mean to say is this is typically an exciting time because there's a whole lot of unknown lying before us. There's going to be a lot of great stuff that happens this year. There's going to be a lot of bad stuff that happens this year. It's all going to be fun. And people who frequently watch this show, by the way, when I was writing that phrase, people who frequently watch this show, I realized that, like, I hope that's most of you. Because, like, if this is your first episode, what did you watch for the first 60 seconds? None of that. That's my resolution. I'm gonna make the show make more sense. Anyway, I'm sorry if this is your first episode. People who frequently watch this show know that I like to make bets. And so what I want to do with today's episode is make some bets for what I think will happen in the year 2014. My betting average for this show is about 500. Are you going to release that in the US? Come on, you dummy. Look at this. Look at those slippers. You have those in the US? I don't think so. Get out of here. You wish. I lose a lot of bets, but I also get a lot right. And it's fun for me the whole time. So here we go. Here are my big bets for 2014. First bet's an easy one. The Xbox One will have a price cut. So Pactor kind of beat me to this one. Recently he stated that the Xbox One may see a price cut sooner than expected if the PS4 continues to outsell the Xbox One. I think it's going to happen this year. The Xbox One, if it doesn't get a price cut, it does need one. I know that this is a race of more of a marathon than a sprint. I know it's 8 years. Don't worry about it right now. But I feel like you need this momentum straight out. Don't be too proud to make a price cut, Microsoft. And also, there's precedent for this. The PlayStation 3 had a price cut in its first year. So did the 3DS, and so did the Wii U, and everything worked out for those. But I say there's an 80% chance of there being a price cut for the Xbox One. Boost it to 89% chance if you count a $500 Titanfall bundle. Next bet, by the end of the year, we'll have a new word for microtransactions. So if I can make a side bet for a second, I think by the end of the console generation, we won't use the word DLC anymore. I think it's just gonna kind of fade into obscurity. I think it's gonna be a word that we don't need anymore. Kind of already don't, because we already download everything. And the C word in DLC is content, which is, you know how I feel about that. But I think by the end of the console generation, it's just, we're not gonna even use that word. And I think that's already happening to microtransactions. I think it's already too broad. There are multiple types of microtransactions. There's some good ones. There's good microtransactions. If you want to have costumes for your Street Fighter characters, yeah, go ahead. I like that. Sure, that's a good microtransaction. If you want to slow your game down and tell me it will speed up if I give you money, no. If you want to sell your in-game currency for real-life money, no. They're not only putting a dollars and cents value on your time, which is something that no form of entertainment should do, they really mess around with the actual game design, which is something that I personally appreciate. I like game design in games. Just even in this fall, the games in which we saw these types of microtransactions, it's like you pay a full price for a game that has a free-to-play design. Insane, just crazy, the stuff that was passed off on us this fall. Nintendo, no microtransactions of this type, which is why I think that company is the best. Thank you, Nintendo. But clearly these types of microtransactions are going to stay, at least for the foreseeable future, and I think we need a name for them, and I think there's probably a 60% chance it's going to happen. And to help get the ball rolling, I have a few suggestions for what we can call these types of microtransactions. Time dollars, frosted mini cheats, publisher gravy, frizzy dog butts, Matrix, insults to the human enjoyment of playtime, as in, your game looks fantastic, but will it include any insults to the human enjoyment of playtime? I gotta give credit to Respawn, actually, in an interview in August, I guess, said that Titanfall will not include any of these types of microtransactions, any Matrix, if you will, which is, that's so good to hear. From a big game that's gonna be published by EA, thank you. I am no longer too cool for Titanfall. I am grateful for Titanfall. I love you for that. Bet number 3, Titanfall has launch issues. And I mean, Titanfall probably will have launch issues, but I mean, it's like, so will everything else. So does everything else. Everything does. Oh man, it made me so mad. Nintendo's eShop was down over the holiday break. Like, went down. The time when they are most likely to make the most money there. And even like, if you got the Wind Waker bundle, you couldn't download the Wind Waker onto your console because the eShop was down. Good grief, that is why I think that's like such a garbage company. Anyway, why I bring this up, why I make this bet in particular is because I kind of want to talk about last fall. I think that something was kind of effed about video game reviews for Battlefield 4. They were really good. and the reason they were really good is that, EA had a press event in which people would come and review the game. And when they were reviewing the game in this closed environment, it ran very well and it got good reviews because of that. And then once the embargo was up and everyone had to put up the reviews because we all want clicks, we all had to put up the reviews at the same time, it was based on a game that the people who bought the game were not playing. And so, I mean, I give Polygon a hard time a lot of times on the show, but I think it's kind of admirable that they changed the review score for Battlefield 4 after realizing that it is a very hard game for most people to even play. It is a barely functioning game for a lot of people. GameTrailers.com, it's a 9.5, and it's never budging. So if you ever get Battlefield 4 to work, it is a 9.5, take our word for it. So one thing that I found kind of heartening is that I'm cubicle neighbors with Daniel Bloodworth, who is a reviewer for GameTrailers.com. When he was doing the review for Gran Turismo 6, the embargo came up pretty early. I think before the online patch of the game was even ready, or even like hours afterward. So the reviews for that game were coming up, and it was kind of like, Bloodworth, what are you doing, man? Where's your GT6 review? And he says, no, I'm still working on it. I still got to write it. I got to see what all this online stuff is. And then so the online patch comes in, and it actually adds a lot of substantial things to the game. And in this case, actually reflected positively on the game. It got a better probably score than it would have if he put out his review on the embargo date. So I kind of admired that. So anyway, in this coming year, if you see a game review come out early for an online-only game, kind of, assume that that is the best case scenario for that game. If you see a game review come out late, please don't assume that the reviewer is being lazy. Please assume that the reviewer was doing that reviewer's job and reviewing the game. Side note though, this one, I think that there's only probably like a 55% chance that Titanfall has serious launch issues. I think that, yes, EA is publishing this game, but Microsoft has also invested heavily into this game, and I think that Microsoft does not want this game to perform poorly. So, it's a coin toss, but I think that it could definitely have launch issues. All right, sorry, let me get off my soapbox and get back to the bets. Bet number 4, Nintendo publishes 2 games that are rated T for teen this year. And probably, actually, when I was thinking about it, Bayonetta 2 is probably gonna be rated M for mature. It's been a while, Nintendo, crazy year. Good change, good luck. Bet number 5, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes has the worst Metacritic average of any of the mainline Metal Gear Solid games, and there's nothing I can do about it. Bet number 6, Game of the Year hasn't been announced yet.
Take the reward and let's go.
Bet number 7, there's another game with celebrity faces, which is funny to me because I think that we never really like games with celebrity faces, but people with more money than we have keep thinking it's a good idea. It's not. Here's Wet, starring Elijah Dushku. It's like, we don't want that. Stop doing that. Bet number 8, Capcom puts out a trailer for a new Mega Man game, and assuming we'll all be delighted, and then it turns out awful, and they just shouldn't have even bothered. Bet number 9, the Sony VR headset is real, and I cannot afford it. And finally, bet number 10, time for a crazy one. The third Sonic game in the exclusive Sonic the Hedgehog Nintendo exclusive deal is going to be really good for some reason. Like something is going to make that a good game somehow. I don't know how. Look, chances are real slim. That one's probably like a 5% chance. But sometimes you got to make the big bets to win big. All right, those are my bets. Lock them in, bookie. But if you'd like to make some 2014 bets of your own, please do so in the comments below. If you want to find me on Twitter, I am at Kyle Bosman. I will be back here next Wednesday. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching. Will your game include any insults to the human enjoyment of playtime? I'm sorry, what is the question? Oh, I'm sorry, any Matrix or frizzy dog butts? I don't follow. Oh, sure, I'll be more clear. I mean parts of your game that move slow intentionally to bother the person playing it so that they will pay more money for it to go faster, or maybe this type of thing where someone can spend money on the in-game currency so they can move through the game faster than someone who is playing it and not spending money. Will your game have any of those? Yes, well, we will have the option to pay real-life money for in-game currency, but it is completely optional. It did not affect the game design at all. I have probably a pretty pointed question. Do you want to make more money? Yes. Do you think that probably instead of making people give you more money, we could maybe like scale back on game budgets? No. I am inspired by games from my childhood, like Candy Crush, Tiny Tower,